Hello everyone, it's Pamela. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. So this week I'll be showing you how to make Czech open-faced sandwiches, OBLOŽENÉ CHLEBÍČky, and Czech style Linzer cookies, lineské koláčky. So let's head over to the kitchen. First, I'm going to start off with the ingredients for the potato salad, which is going to go on the CHLEBÍČky. So I have my Russet potatoes here, mayonnaise, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper, onion, pickles, green peas, eggs, and some ham. But that is just for the potato salad. Now for the rest of the toppings, we have salami, cheese, this is Swiss cheese, this is Gouda, cherry tomatoes, bell peppers in all sorts of different colors, yellow, orange, green, radishes, and then for garnish we have paprika, lemon, parsley. Yep, and of course you need a baguette. Now let's boil those potatoes. I'm gonna cook about 5 of these potatoes. I don't want to do too many because it's not going to be the main dish. It's just potato salad that's going to be part of the toppings. And we need the water to cover the potatoes, but we don't need too much water. So the potatoes are sitting in cool water right now. I put the flame on high. The potatoes are finally boiling and we can leave that slightly uncovered. And we can now lower the flame, but make sure that it's still boiling. While we are waiting for the potatoes to cook, we can go ahead and start cutting the other ingredients. So I'm gonna cut the pickles now. I'll start off with a few, and then we can adjust and always cut more as needed. I'm gonna cut the ends off first. So something like that. Pretty small. The potatoes have been cooking now for about 15 minutes, so we need to check them. We don't want them to be too hard, but we also don't want them to be too soft because we're gonna cut them in little cubes. I'm guessing maybe like 6 or 7 minutes more. I am just gonna leave them on the counter to cool before we peel them. Hot potato. Last one. Now we're gonna hard boil about 6 eggs. And again, I'm just filling it with cold water. Turning on the flame to high until it starts to boil and lid on. The eggs are finally boiling. So now I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit. And then I'm gonna let it boil for about 7 minutes because we want it hard boiled. I left the eggs boiling closer to 10 minutes actually. I'm gonna put ice so that it will be easier to peel them. Now I need to finish the rest. The potatoes are finally cool enough to peel. Just get some small knife. And then I'm gonna go finish the rest. Some water for steaming our peas. I put in about half the bag. I'm actually going to get the water to boil first and then I'm going to steam the peas for a few minutes just so that it doesn't get too soggy. The water for the peas is finally boiling, so now I'm going to steam it. And I think I'm going to leave it in for about 5 minutes. Now we want to cut the potatoes into cubes. And then I'm going to take it and slice it that way. So it looks like that. Some of these pieces are a bit big, so I might cut them a little bit more. I'll just go over like this. Now you want to get a nice big bowl. I'm gonna put the potato in. Then I'm gonna salt and pepper it a little bit. And then you want to put in the mayonnaise as soon as possible, because if you leave these cut potatoes out too long, they will turn gray, and you don't want gray potatoes. I'm gonna start off with a little bit because then you can't really take the mayonnaise out, but you can always add more. And also a tiny bit of the Dijon mustard. You don't really need this, but I'm just gonna put a tiny bit in for taste. I'm gonna add the pickle and the peas now since that is ready to go. I like a lot of pickle in my potato salad. Now I need to finally cut the eggs, and you don't want to cut all of them. I think I'm gonna save 2 because those are gonna be used later for decoration. Again, just gonna slice it this way first. Ooh. So they're nicely hard boiled. And the ham. And now finally for the potato salad, the onion. I'm ready this time. I think I'm gonna use about half the onion. Still seems to be watering my eyes. So this is a bit less than half, more like a quarter of an onion. I think it's all right. Yeah. All right, now let's go assemble these sandwiches. You can get any baguette of your choosing. This is a simple French baguette. I think that's the most typical, or you can get it in sourdough, whichever one you prefer. Typically, these obložené CHLEBÍČky are small little sandwiches, and they're usually like an appetizer. But lately, like if you walk into any Czech deli, they tend to use bigger sandwiches, so you can just have a couple of them and call it lunch, call it a full meal. And you want to cut diagonally to maximize the surface area for putting on all your toppings. All right, let the fun begin. So I put the potato salad on one side of the little breads. To be honest, I cut the baguette a bit too straight, because the more diagonal you cut the baguette, the bigger the piece. See the difference? Yeah, I actually intended to make it more like this, but they turned out like that. But I'm gonna try to make it work. I'm just gonna go with it. Now the decorative egg. Paprika on the egg. Some pieces of Swiss cheese. And again, there are many different styles of obložené CHLEBÍčky, and you can use all sorts of different cheeses or different spreads. Sardines! Do not be afraid of sardines. If you recall, in my On the Edge of Europe video, I went into this little shop in Lisbon, Portugal, and it looked like a bookstore, but those were all sardines. Those were not books. It wasn't a bookstore. They had so many different types of sardines. Portugal is known for their sardines, and yeah, do not be afraid of these. Let's go. To balance that fishiness. I'm cutting off just enough of the peel to make it edible. Washed radish. Washed tomatoes. A little piece of ham. Some salami. A little finely grated Gouda cheese on top. A little bit of peppers. And of course everything is washed. Oh my goodness, now only one more ingredient left, which is parsley for garnish. Plate it nicely and carefully. bude chutně. And there's still plenty of potato salad left over, so you can do whatever you want with it, make more obložené chlebíčky, or you can use it as a side with something. This goes really good with schnitzel actually, and I made a video a while back on how to make schnitzel. So there's an idea. Now that we have that, let's go make some cookies. So for the linské koláčky, it's going to be a lot less ingredients, don't worry, so we can speed it up here. But I thought that it would be nice to also make some dessert. So for this, we're just going to be needing flour, regular white all-purpose flour, sugar, powdered sugar though, lemon, but we're only going to be using the lemon zest, butter, unsalted, and a couple of eggs. And then also some jam later, but we'll get to that. I'm going to put this back on. So first I'm going to weigh this small bowl to tare the scale to make sure we get our measurements right. So I'm going to turn this on. Okay, good. It's at 0, but in grams. The recipe I have is in ounces, so I'm going to set it to that mode. Okay, so now it's at 0 ounces. Okay, good. So first we're going to start off. We need 9 ounces of the flour. And because this weighs 8.5, we're going to end up with 17.5 ounces. And now I can put it in the bigger mixing bowl. Right? And now the powdered sugar. So we're going to need 3.5 ounces of the powdered sugar plus the 8.5 ounces. This should be 12 ounces. So now I'm going to add that to the mixing bowl. At this point, I think it's easiest to add the lemon zest. So I have my washed lemon and I'm gonna finely grate this whole lemon, and I'm gonna be careful not to get any juice into our mix. You can smell it already. This gives it a nice fresh scent. So a bit of a technical thing, I wanted to grate this whole lemon, but practically it was getting harder and harder to grate it because as it's getting soft and slippery, the juice is also coming out. So I didn't get to grate it completely. So I'm actually gonna grate a little bit of a second lemon too. I think that should be okay. And now I'm going to mix it. So now we need our butter, and we're gonna need 5.5 ounces, and this whole stick is 4 ounces. So we're gonna need a little bit more than an entire stick. And we actually don't need to weigh this because as you can see, I'll show you, 1.5 ounces would be right there. Because like 2 ounces would be there, so like 1.5 right there. 4 ounces plus 1.5 is our total 5.5 ounces. And an important note, let your butter soften first before you use it. So have it sitting out for a while first. And I'll mix that up too, but just a little bit because we still need to add the egg. So we're gonna need 2 egg yolks only. I'm gonna try to separate that. I got one. I got them. And now I'm gonna mix all of this up, so just the yolk. I'm gonna switch to using my hands now so that I can knead it into a dough ball. For a while, I wasn't sure this was gonna even turn into dough. It was so floury, but now it's finally starting to look like dough. You know it's coming. I really want to knead it well. So we have our dough ball. We should let it rest. It's pretty tired. So I'm gonna wrap it in aluminum foil and put it in the fridge for half an hour and clean up a little bit, and then we can finally get to baking. So it's been half an hour now. I'm gonna roll out the dough, and I'm gonna put some flour first on the board so it doesn't stick. You don't want to roll out the dough too thick or too thin. I'm just sort of eyeballing it. And keep in mind, these are going to be 2 layers. So they're going to be sandwiched with jam in the middle. You don't really need to grease the pans because there's already quite a bit of butter in the dough, so it should be fine. So I have my holiday cutters here. You want to cut them in even numbers. So one of them, I'm going to keep on the solid heart, and then the other half, I'm going to have this little flower cutout in the middle. And then you want to get a knife to help you take out the cookies. I'm just carefully sliding it under the dough, trying to preserve the shape. And I think I got the first one. And the thickness is about like that. So now I'm just going to squish the dough back together again and do this process all over until I use up all the dough. And if some of these cookies are a little bit too thick or thin, I can just like put them back and like redo them. So I'm just going to go work through this, and then we can finally put it in the oven. Takes a little bit of trial and error. You want to get them all a similar thickness because otherwise some are going to burn. So now we have a matching dozen. We're gonna preheat the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. So the oven is now preheated, so we can put in our cookies, and they're gonna bake for about 12 minutes. And the cookies are done. So this is how they look baked, and I didn't burn them. All right. So I'm gonna let them cool down a bit first, and then we can start putting on the jam. So now they're cool, and I'm gonna start off by putting jam on the solid shapes. So just get some of your favorite jam. I'm gonna be doing half raspberry flavor and half apricot. They're pretty easy to take off. I'm gonna put jam on this side, not on that side, but like that. for the other half, a little bit of the fun part, we're gonna put even more powdered sugar on top to decorate it. And the reason I'm doing it separate instead of like putting the cookie together and then putting powdered sugar over everything is because then all of the cookies would be white and you wouldn't be able to see the little cutout filling. So that's why. So you'll need one of these and your powdered sugar. All right. So now I'm gonna combine them and then I'll show you the final product. And also I had some dough left over, so I might just make a little bit of these ones, like just the filling ones, and then use that for decoration on the final plate. So I'll see you in a little bit. And once again, we did it. Woo! And we are done. You got through till the end of this video. And I wish you the best of luck if you'll try these yourself too. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, so now you have a few ideas for the perfect little tea party, get together, holiday snacks. And yeah, bye for now.